is a treasured family recipe that is perfect for days we need a little bit of comfort. Here to share her Nana's apple cake, we welcome back professional caterer Alison Tucker. Great to see you.
So good to be here.
Nana's apple cake sounds like the ultimate comfort food.
It really is. And here's a really funny thing that happens with this apple cake that's like another secret bonus layer. It gets better as time goes on. It's like it morges, it gets a little bit softer, a little bit more delicious. The flavors release. So like you can make it, have a nice big slice the first day, another big slice. 3 days later, you're like, this is amazing.
Maybe a piece with your coffee in the morning.
Yep,
I like that.
absolutely.
Now, you found your Nana's recipe.
Well, I found my Nana's. I've been wanting to cook this recipe. This was my Nana cooked this for everything.
Oh, that's so special.
It was her apple cake, and everybody knew Nana's apple cake. It was a big, big deal, and you looked forward to all family occasions because out came Nana's apple cake. And then I asked my family for the recipe, and I got something that had been transcribed from her or from somewhere, and I can just see my Nana's scratchy handwriting and how somebody sort of took that and wrote it down, and there were some very strange measurements, like there's orange juice in this cake, and there was the measurement was a half a teaspoon of orange juice.
A half a teaspoon?
So like, why would you buy a whole thing of orange juice for a half a teaspoon? Like my grandmother would never do that.
Fascinating.
And I was like, that's really questionable. There also wasn't any salt in the recipe.
Oh, okay.
And salt is great for cake. It gives it a little kick.
Always,
it sort of brings a lot of the flavor up. And so I made this recipe true to Nana's original recipe and it wasn't what you remembered. It wasn't what I remembered. Thank you for saying that. I was like, you know, she was a great woman. This was not her. I was like, were we all just really dumb?
We'll say it was lost in translation.
Like, what's up with my
something
family?
happened.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I got to work on making this a little bit more, bringing in a little more flavor.
Yeah.
And I cook for a living, so I have a little bit. I'm not fancying this up. It's really important to remember that this is a basic cake.
Okay.
It's not a fancy cake. It's comfort. It's cheap. It's simple. It's not, you know, it's not a showstopper.
Yeah.
But it's a let's take care of each other.
Yeah.
Let's be comforted. It's a rainy day. Let's eat some cake.
I love that. Well, let's eat some cake.
Let's eat some cake.
Okay.
All right. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take some apples. I bumped up the apple quantity from my Nana's, sorry Nana, recipe. I do 6 apples, and I do 3, I like 3 Pink Ladies and then 3 Granny Smith. These are slightly tartar apples, not super sweet, because the cake is a sweet cake.
Oh, that makes sense.
And so I think it gives it a little more character.
I like the combination.
Then I peel them and cut them into like half-inch slices, not super small, but not huge. And then I mix them, I macerate them, which is I add sugar and cinnamon to them. And I add a lot of sugar and a lot of cinnamon. Because I want the apples to be covered in cinnamon.
You got to go for it.
You got to really go for it. So this is 6 apples, and then I mixed it with 4 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. Okay. So it's a lot of cinnamon. It's got a lot of flavor. Sometimes, if I'm nuts, do a little bit of salt in there.
Ooh, okay.
'Cause it just brings it all out a little bit more.
Why not?
Don't tell Nana.
Okay.
All right.
I won't tell her, I promise.
It's been a while, so probably she won't know. Anyway. So then we turn the oven on to 350 degrees. Got your bundt cake. Gonna spray it or grease it. Gonna spray it nicely. You do not have to flour it. This cake releases very nicely.
I love that.
So the dry ingredients, very simple. 3 cups of all all-purpose flour.
Okay.
2 cups of white sugar.
All right.
You have a tablespoon of baking powder.
Okay.
And a teaspoon of salt.
Easy.
Teaspoon of salt doesn't want to come out.
There we go.
We'll get it.
Need a little zhuzh.
All right. So that's super easy, super simple.
That was Nana trying to get that salt out of her recipe.
That's right. She was like, nuh-uh.
How dare you?
No. All right, now I'm going to have you, this is 4 eggs.
Okay.
And you can just beat those up for a little
Alrighty.
bit. And into that, I'm going to add 1 cup of vegetable oil.
Ooh.
And 1/4 cup of orange juice.
Okay.
Not 1/2
That makes
teaspoon.
more sense. And then what do we have here?
And then that's a tablespoon of vanilla.
Okay.
Okay.
Lovely.
And so that's it.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
And then
Are we going
you
in?
can put that in there.
Does it all go in at one time?
Yeah, I'm not too fussy about it. I don't think my Nana was too fussy about it.
This is easy.
It's
This is home
simple.
cooking.
What we're doing is we're just making sure that I don't even whisk it because I'm against overbeating cake batter because it can really affect it. My Nana didn't say anything about overbeating. She didn't say anything. She just mixed it up.
Just mix it. Figure it out. You'll find a way.
I mean, we did.
But look at that. It's all combining so quickly. You don't need to.
Really nice and thick.
Yeah. Almost like cookie dough.
It is almost like cookie
Yeah.
dough. And so then there's this funny thing, because it's so thick, we're gonna do layers.
Oh.
Okay, so we're gonna do a layer of batter. And this gets a little silly because the batter is so thick.
Yeah.
It seems frustrating, but you know what? Don't worry about it because
make it work.
the layers are all just going to kind of bake in there together.
Yeah.
So it's not like layer,
Right.
apple, layer, apple. It all merges, it all gets in there. And then, do you want to do that?
Let's do it.
Just do a layer, not all
Not
of
the
them,
whole
but
thing?
like a layer
Okay.
of apples. Honestly,
A little bit
can't
around
screw
here.
it up.
Okay. How's that?
That's
Ish.
fantastic.
See, now I'm trying to make it perfect, but that's not the
My
point.
Nana would disagree.
She would say, knock it off.
Say, knock it off, exactly. And then we're going with more batter.
Yum.
I think for this one that I made, I did 3
Okay.
layers, like cake, apple, apple. It really, really, really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as you get it all in there,
Whatever works.
whatever works.
Okay.
Okay?
Made with love. That's what counts.
Exactly.
It looks
And
so
then-
gorgeous already.
Exactly. And then you're going to bake it for, it's about an hour and 20 minutes. So
Okay.
it bakes for a really long
Yeah.
time. You let it cool. It releases
Look how beautiful this finished
really,
one
really
is.
well.
Such pretty color.
Such pretty colors, and your kitchen has never smelled so good.
That cinnamon.
That cinnamon and the baking and
Well,
the apples.
And I just always love a bundt cake because you get more of the crispy edges, and those are
Exactly.
always so yummy. Oh my gosh. That's exactly what you want. Something that's called Nana's apple cake to taste like. That's it.
Yay.
Tastes like love.
Good.
Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Great to see you.
So good to see you.
Okay, we'll have this recipe and more about Alison on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.